So, what does love even look like in the age of like and subscribe? It's a great question, right? Well, today we're going to break down a story that dives right into that. The contemporary romance novel Frames in Desire by RocJane. Let's get into what makes this digital age love story such a fascinating and maybe even a little too real reflection of our times. Okay, right off the bat, this one line just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? Passion collides with ambition. I mean, this tells you everything. This isn't just your standard love story. No, this is about that massive clash between what you want personally and what you're striving for professionally. And it's all happening in a world where your life, and yeah, your love life, could literally go viral at any second. Talk about high stakes. So yeah, you can just forget about those historical ballrooms or quaint small-town libraries. The setting for this romance? It's the super high-pressure, always-on world of online content creation. We're talking tight deadlines, the constant draining demand for new ideas, and, oh yeah, millions of eyes watching your every single move. This is a love story for right now. And right at the heart of this whole creative storm, you've got two people whose lives are about to just collide in a way neither of them saw coming. So let's meet the creators because their professional collaboration is about to get very, very personal. All right, so on one side, you've got Lena. She's the face, the energy, the rising YouTube star who's building her entire empire one video at a time. And then there's Evan. He's the quiet artist behind the camera, this super meticulous filmmaker who is obsessed with getting that one perfect shot. They're kind of like two different sides of the same creative coin, and they've just been brought together for one single project. And here we go. This is where the story really, truly ignites. Because what kicks off as just a purely professional thing, well, it quickly turns into something so much more intense. Something you just can't contain with a script or a shooting schedule. I mean, on paper, it's all so simple, right? It's a job, a project. They've got contracts, call times, clear goals. They're just professionals hired to make something awesome. But you know how it is. The best stuff always happens when life decides to completely ignore the plan. And then you start to see it. The book talks about these tiny but super powerful moments, these stolen glances. And that's it, isn't it? That's the first little crack in that professional wall they've built. It's that flicker, that unspoken thing that says, hey, there's way more going on here than just making a YouTube video. Their connection doesn't deepen because of some big dramatic talk. It happens in all the spaces in between. It's all about what they don't say. The air between them just gets charged. It's this hidden energy, this chemistry that's just impossible to ignore, especially when there's a camera rolling, capturing every single second of it. Okay, so what's really cool here is that this whole dynamic fits perfectly into a specific romance category. This is what we call a classic slow burn. This is not a love at first sight kind of deal. It's all about that delicious, gradual buildup, watching these two people slowly realize what's happening between them. And trust me, that makes the eventual payoff, oh, so much more satisfying when you're reading it. But look, intense chemistry alone doesn't make a story, right? A great romance needs real, legitimate obstacles. And for Lena and Evan, their biggest challenges come straight from that high-stakes digital world they've worked so hard to build. So what's actually standing in their way? Well, first up, there's Lena's growing fame. I mean, every single move she makes is being watched and judged by thousands of followers. Then you've got the insane deadlines of the creator world that just leaves zero room for a personal life. And then, hanging over all of it, is just the massive pressure of being online, where one wrong move could destroy everything you've worked for. And this really brings us to the absolute core question of the novel. And hey, maybe it's a question you've even asked yourself. When your whole career is on the line, when you've poured everything you have into getting where you are, can you actually afford to let your heart take over? It's a tough one, and it feels incredibly real. Okay, so we've got the characters, we've got the conflict, but what does all that actually feel like when you're reading it? What kind of journey is Frames in Desire really promising to take you on? Well, for starters, it promises the pure satisfaction of that slow burn finally catching fire and turning into real passion. It's going to transport you to these really vivid settings. Think glowing city rooftops or quiet rain-soaked gardens. You're going to get that perfect mix of smart, witty banter and moments that are just genuinely heartfelt. And at its core, yeah, it's all about that struggle we can all relate to, trying to balance your dreams with your heart. So, who's this book for? Simple. If you love romance novels that feel like they could actually happen today, in our world, and if you like stories that aren't afraid to get into the messy complications of love in the age of social media, then yeah, this one is absolutely for you. And hey, if you need it boiled down to just its absolute essence, you get these 3 perfect words. It promises a story that's going to be emotional, definitely steamy, and in the end, unforgettable. And that leaves us with the one big question that just hangs over their entire story. After all of that buildup, all the stolen glances, and all the feelings they won't admit, is the pressure of their careers just too much? Is it going to pull them apart before they even really begin? It's a huge, lingering question, and of course, the only way to find out is to dive in and read it for yourself.